Happy to welcome the Compass and Atlas program. So Marissa will be taking it away.
All right, thank you very much. We're happy to be here tonight. We want to share with you a little bit about the vocational programming that we do for our students in our Compass and Atlas program. So I'm going to introduce you ladies. So our Compass program, we focus on different independent living skills, but we also have a lot of focus on like functional academics. And once students get to Atlas, we kind of drop that academic piece and solely focus on the functional side of things. So at MPE, Emily Tira is the teacher in the Compass program. At Lincoln Trail, we have two teachers. It's Abby Graves and Melissa Nichols. At Lincoln Trail is Alex McMahon and Victoria Giles. What? Sorry, it does say LT, does it? I'm sorry, it is the junior high. I thought you were supposed to check this. I know high school. I know, a ton of us read it.
Thank you, I thought that you signed and had.
High school is Heather Lyons. She was our proofreader of the presentation. Sorry. And then at Atlas, you guys have met Trace Patterson has presented to you guys before about things we do at Atlas, and so she's here again today. So my big thing that I just wanted to share is that what I want you to know is that these teachers have all worked together. Some of them this is their first year, some of them for many years, and we have really worked to come up with like a scope and sequence of skills so that the training that we are giving the students build as they go through each building. We are really intentional in selecting the skills that we work on at each building because we want to make sure that the students are learning things that are age appropriate. So you're not going to see students at Middletown or at Lincoln Trail with a coffee cart going around selling coffee because kids at that age don't do that typically, right? So we want to make sure that they are learning skills that we can build upon, but also that are very age appropriate. So I'm going to turn it over to each of them and they're going to talk about what they do at each level. We'll use that first.
So MPE is special in that we get to be able to have them come in and learn how to learn, basically. So some of them have not, they've gone through maybe pre-K, but a lot of the things that we focus on is helping them learn how to put systems in place to make school make sense to them. So that's a huge focus for me in my classroom. I don't know, how do I just...
The arrow button.
There you go. There we go. Oh, and there's Middletown. There we go. So from the beginning, in my classroom, we make sure that they're having a very structure and routine day. We use visual schedules, which has been hugely successful in getting them to understand, like, this is the structure of the day and this is where you go. So this is an example. Some of them, we ring a doorbell and that cues them into like, you have to go check your schedule, but others need a more visual, they're not listening to the bell yet. So we use both of those check mark things that you see over on the far left. And then I presented a couple of different examples of what our visual schedules are. This is just breaking down the day to let them know, like, this is what we're going to do next. They can see visually what's happening throughout the day and then what to expect and sort of the skills that are involved within each of the routines and the I don't know, activities that we're doing per routine, like snack, recess. They know what's happening, and actually a lot of them are going up there and choosing that they don't want to do any of the work and they go straight for recess. But it does help them, so they're looking and they're grabbing that I guess we call it tickets or whatever, and then they go to that location and there's a match there that lets them know, like, now you're at recess or now you're at play. So those are just some examples of what we have. We did do, I worked really hard over the summer with Stacy Peterson. She's our vision specialist. I have 3 kids that need additional help in looking at the icons that we use for the schedules. So we made object schedules for them. So what you can see the difference between here, one is checking their schedule, that she does not pay attention to the doorbell, but she does like go over there and check her schedule with the check mark, and she just needs the visual. So she's rocking it in that she's a kindergartner, but then on the far right, you see that she's using almost the exact same thing, but with an object schedule that she can visually respond to a lot better than the actual icons. We also are really incorporating reinforcement and having them understand that like they are expected to learn, but like it's fun to learn. So token boards and choice boards are within everything that we do. Trying to figure out very individualized motivation so that they are rewarded for correct answers and or just like even sitting. Like if you're sitting at a carpet, you get a star for like every minute that you're sitting there, and you get to choose what it is that you're working for. So these are examples of some of the choice boards and or token boards. I've had kids who have worked for dinosaurs and or fish stickers, but usually stars were okay, but they're working towards earning something that they have the responsibility and the independence of making sure that they're listened to and they have the ability to choose what it is that they want to work for. So that's an example. And here's a couple examples of some students using the token board and learning whatever specific skill that they're working on. So the visual schedules and the token boards and choice boards are incorporated into just about any skill that we're trying to teach them. Sitting, attending, to academic tasks, even if it's something like just checking their schedule or I don't know, even just sitting at carpet and staying there and enjoying whatever it is we're doing, like letter of the week, which is coming up.
Right. I can't wait.
So I'm gonna hand it over to whatever Lincoln Trail. So we set the stage for Lincoln Trail and watch what these ladies can do. Amazing stuff.
And we try and build off of the awesome foundation that she creates. So we take her visual schedule and lengthen it a little bit. And so they use this, like she said, to check their schedule, take their ticket, put it in their cup to tell them where they need to go. We also create independent workstations.
Yep. So this is where the students go to work independently. Typically the work in the station is things that they've mastered during their work with teacher time. So on their IEP goal work, and the goal is that they work through the system for second, third, and place it in the finish bin when they're done.
Yep. We also try and promote independence through classroom jobs. Some kids are assigned jobs, some of them get to choose their own jobs. We use this as a time for them to get out into the school to socialize and interact with people, paper shredding.
Mail delivery. They love doing mail delivery, going down to the office, checking mailboxes. They like to deliver the pink slips. And that gives them the opportunity to interact more with their gen ed peers.
They have the little grabbers, they go outside and pick up trash. They set out the cones for the parent dismissal at the end of the day. Vacuum other people's classrooms, just all sorts of jobs to try and push them out and immerse them into our school community. So here's some of the kids doing the jobs.
So every day they complete a life skills rotation. And then this rotation, the idea of it is to work on some prerequisite skills that they need for vocational tasks later on. So like you can see they go in the bathroom, cleaning the mirrors, wiping the sinks down. And the other picture, they're sorting, like stocking like a vending machine. They do sorting clothes by dirty and clean, darks and whites, silverware.
We feel like our job is just to kind of take it one step further and get them ready for junior high, where they're actually maybe going out to be a little bit more, still getting out into their classes. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's like many rolls.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
All right, so we do junior high, and junior high is a lot more. We go into the community, we go do stuff in the school. So we get to do some field trips where we go out to the community, like the U of I basketball game, library visits. We did a field trip to Dairy Queen, but we also do a lot of things in the school where we're just like practicing money and going around and running like a coffee cart and doing recycling and stuff like that. So
So one of the things we do is the coffee cart or the caffeine cart, and students are able to follow directions by filling orders that the teachers put in, and then they are able to navigate the hallways to find classrooms. And they can engage in those communication skills by greeting the teachers that order, greeting peers that they see in the hallway, and then also the functional piece of, making change for someone that's going to pay us, or just counting back the money that they were given.
and other jobs we do are delivering messages. We deliver the messages from the office, the take 5 bag messages. We do library messages. Students have to go around the school, find the classrooms, find the lockers and everything. They have to be respectful while walking through the classroom, and they learn how to just get into the community and be respectful and know what they're doing. We also make ice packs for the health office. We do laundry. We wash the PE clothes. We shred papers, and we also do recycling, which you see in that picture there. They go outside and they put the paper in the recycling bin, and then they have to go deliver all the boxes when they're done. And there's some more pictures of us doing some jobs, shredding, recycling, and ice packs, which is always a fun time.
So at the high school, we start shifting a little bit more to independent living, functional academics, and a lot more vocational. So we try to take those job skills that they learn in the lower grades and try to apply them into their academics rather than other gen ed material. We focus on actual jobs, and so our readings, our researching jobs, finding out different things in our community, reading recipes, different things like that. And so we definitely have a bigger shift. And one of the big shifts that we have when we get to the high school is that we start our transition planning in the IEP. So at 14 and a half, students start having a voice or more of a voice in their IEP. And so we really try to tailor their transition plan, the plan that they'll have when they get to Atlas at that time. So we start looking at what they're interested in, what type of skills they like in a job, and what they don't like, so that we can help figure out what jobs in the community we can expose them to and let them try out. And so we have a lot of different ways for our students to engage with that, depending on their ability level. And then we also work really hard on increasing independence and reflection in their vocational tasks. So a lot of them follow checklists, and the idea is that hopefully with following either visual directions or a specific checklist, that they will need less of a job coach, a paraprofessional, teacher support, so that ideally they can do those tasks in the community without that additional support. But also having students understand if they're doing well at their job, being able to assess, like, I did a good job today, I need to work on this, I need to learn on this. And we work with the job coaches so that those conversations are had at whatever level the students need, so that we can improve on those skills and increase independence. We also do a lot of classroom jobs. Our students do shredding, vacuuming, wiping tables, dishes. We run the recycling program at the high school, and whatever kind of jobs that the administration need that we kind of support. But we also have 2 micro businesses at the high school, and one of them is the long-running snack cart. Allows our students to practice, budgeting, shopping, interacting with customers. They absolutely love it. They get to see their buddies and friends and peers outside the school. They become really well known and often get stopped in the hall so that people can buy things. And it helps them really learn some solid skills. A lot of our underclassmen do the snack cart, so that way when they get to their junior, senior year, they can go out into the community. So they're learning some skills that hopefully can transfer out into the community. We also, around Christmas time, make Christmas tags for school staff. So if you're interested, we'll be putting those out in November. But the students use different materials to make these Christmas tags. They're very much unique, so that our students are making them, and our Bulldog buddies also help. But the idea with this is that students make these, and the money we get from it, we get to use to do fun things with our Bulldog buddies. Whether we buy games for our buddies' times, if we go on a field trip or something, that's kind of what it's for. And then we have some community work placements. Right now we are at the junior high doing some custodial work, and then the United Methodist Church. And those have been really awesome placements for our students this year. So. right, Tracy.
And my kids have graduated high school and they are now in the transition program, Atlas, for 18 to 22 really. And my kids have jobs in the community and we also have our own student-led business, student-run business. So currently we're working at Bridal Brook Habitat Restore. Savoy Schnucks is starting next week, I think. And then we have our Bulldog Barkery. And we have an apprenticeship now at Candlewood Suites. I'll talk about that in a minute. So these are just some pictures of our kids working in the Barkery and at their community jobs. So our apprenticeship program, we partnered with WIOA, which is, what does WIOA stand for? I think I have it somewhere. I can't remember, but they are a work-based through the Department of Rehabilitative Services in Illinois. And so we have a guy at WIOA who has sort of facilitated this apprenticeship through the Department of Labor. So our student, after he finishes his apprenticeship, this is his apprenticeship at Candlewood Suites, he's working as a laundry assistant. And after he does a full year of that, he will have an actual certification through the US Department of Labor. So ideally, he'll be able to, I mean, they want to hire him after he's hired as an apprentice, but after his apprenticeship is over, they want to hire him as a full-time employee. But if anything ever happens with that job, or if he leaves there, he'll have this certification through the US Department of Labor to take to another work site, another hotel, anywhere he could do laundry and say, I've been certified in this, I'm a laundry assistant. So that's pretty awesome. And I thought I had another slide in here, but I know I've talked to you guys all about the Barkery, and I did bring some of our homemade dog treats tonight, and they're outside, and I have brought some free samples also. So Chris, how did your dog like the treats?
It didn't last very long.
That's right. Never do. So, so we're still doing that. We have that student-run business. That's what we use to fund our fun field trips. We're going on one this Thursday to the Great Pumpkin Patch, and sale of our dog treats is covering that whole field trip. So that's kind of a fan favorite. The kids love that one because they get to make the treats and they get to then deliver them everywhere, and they get to see everybody, and they see Dr. Lee every month delivering the treats. And so they love that. But the apprenticeship has become pretty important to Atlas too. And I'm feeling like we could put another kid into this apprenticeship next year, or we could start an apprenticeship with another business. I mean, the main thing we do at Atlas is we do the partnering with different employers in the community so that we can set these kids up for success in their adult lives, working their adult jobs. Any questions?
So first of all, thank you all for doing this. This is amazing. The work that you do is, thank you. For the apprenticeship, I think that is so awesome. Do they have to apply for it? Does any kid get it? Or like only a certain amount of kids that can get it?
So it's not just a certain amount. So I started it with this specific, I go to a lot of these transition conferences and I learn all these things. And then Marissa and I were at a conference together too. And it was like, we were like, this is happening. So it was WIOA guy. Do you remember what WIOA stands for? I can't remember all.
Is that Taylor?
Yeah, it's Taylor Black.
Black.
Anyway, it's a state of Illinois thing, and it's out there on Mattis by Parkland in that building, the employment, that's WIOA, whatever that stands for.
Workforce Innovation and
Yes.
Opportunity.
Thank you, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. And so,
You remember it.
off the top of his head.
Yeah, I knew it.
I was hoping you would remember.
So they were presenting at a conference also that we were at, and we just decided, we were gonna make this happen. And so I contacted Taylor Black at WIOA and I said, listen, I have this kid, we have this really good. So what it is when you find a good employer, and we had a really good employer in this hotel. We had a really good GM who was so on board with teaching, with us training our student there, and he was all about it. And so I approached him and I said, hey, what do you think about this apprenticeship opportunity? And basically what you do is you can carve out whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be like an existing job. Like, for example, the existing job that it would have been at this hotel would have been housekeeping, a housekeeper. However, my student has, some vision problems and every single aspect of the housekeeping thing, he might experience challenges with certain aspects of it. So we sort of carved out his job. And so he's not getting, his certification isn't in housekeeping specifically, it's in laundry attendant, because he can go and strip the rooms and he can put all that in a cart, and he can strip several rooms, put them all in carts, and then wheel it down and do the laundry. And that's his favorite thing to do. He loves it. If he's in the middle of laundry when the bus is there, they can't pry him out the door because he's not finished, right? And he's like telling people 2 minutes on the dryer, 2 minutes on the dryer, like as he's leaving, because he's like, and we just had to get to the place where we're like, listen, Emily can handle it when you leave. She's going to finish it for you. There'll be stuff here for you to do tomorrow, just to get him to go. But so that's like his thing. So it can be like, I'm waiting for this hotel to open in Mahomet and like, hey, what can we do? Because the example of this that I first learned about was at the transition conference that they do at the U of I every year. And it was the city of Collinsville. And if you guys have time, look it up on YouTube, the city of Collinsville, their apprenticeship program. It is amazing. And they partnered with, the city of Collinsville partnered with the local transition program, and it's the same thing. But they have this whole like event center there that they had jobs for the kids. So theirs has grown by leaps and bounds because they have this. We just didn't have anything. I've been kind of, when I
We
first.
were waiting for Champaign County to get together and we said, we're just gonna do it ourselves.
So, yeah, so it's really neat. But any really, once you have that good employer that's really willing to work with you, you can carve out an apprenticeship for a transition kid, for a kid with disabilities that, you can carve out whatever their job may be, get them that certification. And then I just think like that's gonna carry them far, in their adult lives. To have that. So I'm, ecstatic that we have that now.
We're hopeful that the Schnucks in Savoy.
That would be amazing.
Although the distance is huge, right? That takes a lot of time in the instructional day.
It really
That-
is.
Those folks have been very supportive,
Amazing.
very willing to have our students there. And I think that's probably the next great
I agree.
experience for our kids is at the Schnucks in Savoy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that will turn into meaningful employment pretty quickly. I think, we always start with, my kids are in the STEP program, so it's like a volunteer. So they show up to work, and we're basically using community employers as like training sites. And so they don't get paid. They get paid a stipend through DRS. They don't get paid by the employer. So you would think it would be a little bit easier to kind of wiggle your way in and say, this is free labor, but it doesn't always work that way. But then what happens is if they do a good job and the employer likes their work, they can get hired. And so that's like always our goal. Our goal is like when they're leaving Atlas to have that job that they're going to work as an adult, and have trained them on it. So.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, you define work, and it's really impactful, obviously. How many students K through 12 are in the program?
How many do you have?
5.
11.
11.
We have 11.
I have 5.
3, 4, 3. Well, I'm sharing one. I'm putting 4 to work, but I only have 3 on my case this year.
That's amazing. And then what's a Bulldog Buddy?
Bulldog Buddy is a program that we have in the junior high and high school. It's a little bit different at each building because of their bell schedules, but it's an opportunity for our students to have meaningful relationships with their peers. And so students apply to be a buddy. They have to go through an interview process, and they're selected. At the junior high, it's split between the 7th and 8th grades during their elective. It's one of their electives they get to choose. And then at the high school, it's an advisory class. And so it looks a little bit different for the buddies help in their actual classes that they have in Compass, where mine is purely a social time.
It's like a reverse inclusion thing started by Marissa Hill.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 years ago.
So I was.
Abby was a Bulldog buddy back when she was in middle school.
And it was truly the reason why I became a special ed teacher. It was the most incredible thing that she created, and I feel like it's only grown from there. And I made some really true friendships. And I think it's by choice, right? Like it's during your elective. I think I would come into my lunch and recess because it's something I enjoyed and I loved. And I made some really impactful relationships with some of those students. And it's cool to see now being a teacher, trying to help facilitate our students and the kids in those programs. So.
Like we get a lot of interest in this. Like I think the past 2 years I've had 30 to 40 applications, and it's not like, oh, you just fill out a Google form. They have to write a 500-word essay. They have to go through an interview process. And they're all just like, I mean, starting now, I'm already getting questions. When can we sign up to be a Bulldog buddy? When can we start like looking into that? Like they ask teachers, they reach out to us, like a lot of people want to do it. And these kids are amazing. Like they do such a good job with our students. So
Just want to say thank you guys individually for all pouring so much of yourselves into our students in our community. Like it's a blessing to have you guys. So thank you very much.
And thank you for giving up an evening to be here tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it. You guys are all rock stars and we appreciate you.
Any other questions for Compass Atlas?
What?
Do you have anything else for us?
She's ready.
You getting out of here?
They've heard about us there.
Trying to get out of here.
All right, thank you so much. Feel free to stick around, but I see you're all heading toward the door. So
Excellent
feel
presentation.
free to leave as well.
That sounds.
Yeah.
Now it's very lonely.